Hi, welcome to Waking Up with Wisdom. Today, we're sharing an enlightening story about a wealthy man who gave up all his riches. Long ago, there was a wealthy and high-status man who lived a life of luxury and power. However, as he grew older, he began to realize that the suffering of old age was the same for both the rich and the poor. The inevitability of aging, illness, and death was a great equalizer, sparing no one, regardless of their wealth or status. This profound realization led him to a significant decision: to renounce his wealth and social position. He chose to retreat to the forest and live as a humble monk, seeking a deeper, more meaningful existence. In the forest, he embraced a life of simplicity and solitude. Through meditation and mental discipline, he worked tirelessly to free himself from unwholesome thoughts. His dedication bore fruit, and he became content and joyful, finding peace within himself. His serenity and friendliness were so profound that they gradually attracted 500 followers who sought to learn from his wisdom and experience. During that time, monks typically appeared quite serious and reserved. However, there was one monk among them who stood out. Despite his dignified demeanor, he always had a small, genuine smile on his face. No matter the circumstances, his inner joy never wavered. On joyous occasions, his smile was the brightest, and his laughter the heartiest. His perpetual happiness intrigued many, and monks and lay people alike often asked him why he was always so cheerful. He would chuckle and say, "If I told you, you wouldn't believe me. And if you thought I lied, it would dishonor my master." The wise old master, aware of the source of this monk's happiness, made him his chief assistant, recognizing his exceptional inner peace. After the rainy season, the old monk and his 500 followers visited the nearby city. The king, known for his benevolence, allowed them to stay in his pleasure garden for the spring. This king took his responsibilities seriously, constantly striving to protect his people from danger, manage threats from neighboring kingdoms, mediate conflicts among his ministers, and deal with personal and financial concerns. With so many worries, the king found little time for personal happiness. As summer approached, the monks prepared to return to the forest. Concerned for the elderly leader's health, the king urged him to stay in the city while the others returned. The chief monk, understanding the king's concern, agreed and appointed his smiling assistant as the new leader of the forest monks. Back in the forest, the assistant monk continued his meditation, delving deeper into his practice. His dedication brought him even more wisdom and happiness. Despite his increasing joy, he missed his old master and felt a strong desire to share his newfound happiness with him. Thus, he decided to visit the city. Upon his arrival, he sat on a rug at the feet of the old monk. They exchanged few words, but every so often, the assistant monk would exclaim, "What happiness! Oh, what happiness!" This continuous expression of joy puzzled those around him. When the king visited, he felt slighted that the monk did not greet him properly. The king, frustrated, remarked, "With all my worries and responsibilities, I take time to visit, and this monk doesn't even acknowledge me. How disrespectful." He then accused the monk of laziness and overeating, attributing his happiness to these factors. The senior monk, understanding the king's frustration, calmly replied, "Be patient, and I'll explain the source of his happiness. This monk was once a king, just like you. After becoming a monk, he discovered that his former happiness was insignificant compared to his current joy. He used to be surrounded by guards for protection, but now he sits alone in the forest, free from fear. He has relinquished the burden of protecting wealth and maintaining power. His wisdom now shields him, leading to profound inner peace and joy." The king, hearing this explanation, felt a sense of peace and understanding. He realized that true happiness came from within and not from external circumstances. he spent some time with the monks, seeking their advice before returning to his palace. The happy monk, who had once been a king, paid his respects to his master and returned to the forest, continuing his journey of inner peace. The old chief monk, content with his life, eventually passed away and was reborn in a high heaven, having achieved great spiritual merit. The lesson from this story is clear: true happiness comes from within. Material wealth and power cannot bring lasting joy. By detaching from external possessions and focusing on inner peace, we find true happiness. Mastering our own fate and embracing our inner joy, we can discover happiness in the simplest things. This is Waking Up with Wisdom Stories. Thanks for watching, and stay blessed.